Hello, my name is Phil Snell. I'm a mandaholic. Hello, welcome to episode 2. In this episode I'm going to talk about holding the mandolin, tuning it, such as that, some scales, where to put your fingers, and maybe, hopefully learn a tune at the end of it. So let's get started. So the strings on the mandolin are G, D, A, E. D, A, E. And it's tuned in fifths, which is like status quo. Like that. And if you follow the alphabet from G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. So the 7th fret is the same note as the next string. Like that. Now, when you play the mandolin, it's absolutely essential to be in tune. You can't really play if it's not in tune. Everything sounds wrong. Oh, it's just terrible, horrible. So to tune the mandolin, you can get these tuners like this one here. Can you see that? It fits on the end of the head here inside. You can leave it on when you're performing. I prefer not to. I think they look a bit crappy, but you just turn it on and you can tune to that. You can also get these quite big. They've got the hook. They've got a plug socket in, so you can plug it in to tune it. If you're on stage, there's a lot of racket. It stops any extraneous noise spoiling it. Also, there are apps on my Android phone. I've got a thing called G Strings, and it's a very good tuner actually. I use it quite a lot. So there's plenty of ways of tuning it, but it's really important to be in tune. So that's a good start. The next is, how do you hold the thing? Well, a lot of people use straps, and perfectly fine. I tend not to, unless I'm standing up, of course. Then it's better if I'm playing on stage. These straps can go from a simple cord, just around your shoulders, or you can get nice, fancy straps. Rod at Pine Grove Leather in Hebden Bridge, he makes fantastic straps. If you contact him, Hebden Bridge. So I like to sit like this, nice and comfortable. You've got to have your hands nice and easy and relaxed, but particularly your right hand. That's got to be very flexible and comfortable, like that. If it's stiff, you just get kind of angry notes. Whereas if you're nice and loose, just hold the plectrum kind of loosely. Don't drop it, obviously, but like that. It's nice and loose and it's easy, and it makes it easier to play. So that's a good thing. That brings us on to plectrums, or plectra. Is that the plural? I don't know. This is the one I use all the time. Again, you probably can't see it. It's a blue chip. Cost a fortune. I think they're about 40 quid, but they last forever. I've had this for over a year and it's not showing any signs of wear at all. I've used it a lot. Very nice plectrum. This is a prime tone by Jim Dunlop. It's got a nice grip on it, so it's easy to hold. This is, I think, 2mm. Yeah. It's a good second to the blue chip. A lot cheaper. I think they're about a fiver, maybe, something like that. Then there's things like this. This is a Tusk. These cost about nothing. They're about 50p or something, which is all right. I always have a pocket full of plectrums, actually. Thing. And this is a Tortex thing. Now, the plectrum makes a big difference to the sound of the mandolin. This is the blue chip. This is the prime tone. Not a massive difference there. This is the Tusk. That sounds a bit harder. That, by the way, is 1mm. It's made out of some weird plastic. This thing is a Tortex, very flexible, very bendy. I don't know I can't read what size it is, but it's probably about 0.2 or something. And that's, you can hear it's got a much thinner sound. So if you do that with the blue chip, So sometimes if I'm doing strumming figures, I'll use a soft plectrum. So that's with that bendy tortex. With the blue chip, it sounds like this. There's much more woodiness and depth in the sound. So there you go. Plectrums are important, but you can buy, a 1 or 2 millimeter. I would recommend something like that. Didario, Jim Dunlop. There's all sorts of people who make plectrums, and okay. So we've tuned up. We're sitting comfortably. We're all relaxed. Everything's fine. Now, it's very important, in my view, to put your fingers in the right places. In general terms, and this is not 100%, but in general terms, the index finger takes care of the first 2 frets. Those 2. The long finger takes care of the next 2 frets, the 3rd and the 4th. The ring finger takes care of the 5th fret and maybe the 6th fret. And then the pinky takes care of the 6th fret, or sometimes the 7th fret, which is actually the same note as the next string. Like that. And it's really worth trying to stick to that as best you can, because if you play a tune that way, with the fingers in the right places, it's nice and easy. But if you play it just by moving your hand around, it's much harder. And as you develop and you get onto harder tunes, I can't imagine how you'd survive, actually. So that's important. Most folk music is in the keys of G, D and A. G has 1 sharp, D has 2 sharps, A has 3 sharps. If you want to know more about the fundamentals of music, there's plenty of resources on the web, and I would just go and find those. The circle of fifths is interesting to know about. That's sort of mathematics of music, really. The tune I'm going to work on today is in the key of G. So let's work up the scale of G. So G is quite good on the mandolin or the fiddle, because it's you can play the 2 octaves of the scale in the compass of being on the first position. So this is the low octave. Can you see it? And the next octave is if you join them together, you get I'll do that again. It's well worth practicing your scales. You can just write them out on a piece of music if you need to read them. Just go over them. I practice my scales. I'll just sit and play them, if I'm idling about. It's good for the fingers. It gets everything loose. It helps your accuracy. It's a good thing. The tune I thought I'd introduce you to is called Salmon Tails Up the Water. It's a folk tune. It's claimed by the Northumbrians, the Scottish, the Irish, and probably the Americans as well. I have no idea where it came from. It doesn't really matter. It's a really nice tune. It's relatively simple. These tunes generally are of a form, and it's to do with dancing, of a 32-bar cycle, and that's generally 2 A parts, each of 8 bars, so that's like 16 bars, and then 2 B parts, each of 8 bars, so that's 16 bars. And often the second B part is slightly different to the first B part. But that gives it a regular pattern, so dancers actually can go around the loop or whatever and get back to where they need to be. So I'll play the tune slowly so you can get an idea of how it sounds. Now, if you want the music for this tune, I'd recommend you go to a website called www.thesession.org. It's a fantastic resource for tunes. It used to be just an Irish collection of tunes, but now it's got loads and loads and loads and loads. And in there you'll find Salmon Tales up the water, and there's about 5 or 6 settings, either in score form or in tab form. I always use score form. I've never really used tab. I don't understand it. We already had a system. I don't know why that was invented. So anyway, the A part of Salmon Tales. So it just uses 2 fingers like that on these 2 strings. Can you see that? So we'll go. Oh, I didn't say. When I play a tune like that, I'll go downstroke, upstroke like that. Bam, 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 bam. That's a good thing to get into. It's not for everything. There are some things you won't do that, but generally that's the way to play it, because you get more speed and it's comfier, and you get a better feeling to the music. So here's the A part. Can you follow me on this? I'll do it again. I'm playing this really straight with no ornamentation at all, and I think that's probably a good place to start. In the next episode or so, I'll talk about different ways of making each note sound different and give the tune more character and make it more interesting. So, have we got this? And the B part, the first B part is I'll do it again. Once more. So that's the first B part. Now the second B part is slightly different. It goes. You might have noticed that it finishes with the same as the end of the A part. I'll do it again. I'll put both B parts together now. I'll play the whole tune through very slowly and see if you can sort of keep up. So we'll go like that speed. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I feel like I rattled through that quite quickly, but if you persevere, I'm sure you can get it. If not, just ask me and I'll go through it again slower. Okay, I'm going to wrap that one for now. I think I've probably fused your brains enough. And I'll try and do the next episode in the next couple of days. Okay, it's a sunny day again here in Yorkshire. Good stuff. Okay, cheers, bye.